Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host and business partner, Joey Sampaga. And he is the man with the plan. We are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs. Ooh, yeah. How are you doing, Joey?
What's going on, man?
Hey, we've got a great guest with us here today, I'm telling you.
We certainly do. I'm excited.
Absolutely. We've got Greg Hague with Hague Partners and real estate attorney. Greg has built several real estate firms, with the largest growing to 121 offices and 4,000 agents. He even has a real estate training company called Real Estate Mavericks, which has been featured in Forbes and has received a lot of national press. Wow. Yeah. They're in for a surprise, aren't they?
Well, I don't know, but
I think so.
I'm sure thrilled to be here. This is like the beginning of, you ever see the movie Good Morning Vietnam?
Yes.
Yes, I like that. You guys just bang right into it the way he did when he came in there and got started. So
there we go.
Right.
That's
I'm just wondering, I'm looking at that blue mask over there, and I'm just wondering what the heck is going to happen with me in the blue mask.
Well, you're going to get in the ring with the Maniacs, and there's a reason we have foam on the walls.
Yeah.
Foam on the walls? Oh, God. You guys are a lot younger than me. You got to be careful. You can't be banged.
All right. So why don't we start with sharing a little bit about how long you've been in the business, what got you into real estate from the beginning?
Well, I've been in the business, I hate to even say this, Jeff,
All right.
50 years, okay? Let's just presume, I was licensed 50 years ago. Let's just presume back then they allowed you to be licensed when you were three.
There we go.
Okay, so everybody can add 50 and 3, and there's my age, right?
Go.
Got it.
I have been in the business 50 years. I got into it. I'm an attorney, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Went to law school, passed the bar exam, but my family had been in real estate. My mom was a realtor. My dad was a realtor. He owned a real estate firm. My aunt was a realtor. My uncle was a realtor. My wife's a realtor. My kids are realtors.
Wow.
Why am I in the business? I don't know how to do anything else. Right? Everybody around me was in real estate. So
that is awesome.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, totally love it. It's made for a wonderful life for me. It's made me financially free, which is great, and that's one of the great opportunities we know in real estate.
Sure.
And along the way, when I wasn't financially free and was working my butt off, I was having a good time. So it's really just a great profession.
So most of that time been here in the Valley?
Moved here in 1981.
Okay.
Started in real estate in 67, selling part-time for my dad's real estate firm in college and law school, etc.
Okay.
Moved to the Valley in 81. Joined Realty Executives back then.
Yeah.
Knew Dale Rector, original founder, and Dick Baxter, the broker. And I have loved every minute of being in real estate in Arizona.
All right, good. Fantastic. Well, I know that you've got some really exciting things that are happening or that you've been working on for a while now. And one of them, I know, and I found it when I looked you up, it's all out there and it's awesome. You've got one called the Stop Zillow movement.
Stop Zillow.
So tell us about that.
Well, how do you stop a $9 billion corporation? Why would you even want to do that, right, Jeff?
I know. Well, I think that you'd want, it depends on what they're doing, I guess, to the industry, right?
Well, long story short. So earlier this year and previous to that, I was just doing my thing, building my real estate firms, training. I love to do that. Love this business. It's been so good to me. And Zillow, everybody knows Zillow, of course. Zillow came out with a program on May 22nd called Instant Offers. Now, Instant Offers, most agents know about it, is a program where Zillow tested it in Orlando and Las Vegas, and they're now in the process of launching it in Phoenix. And essentially, they say to home sellers, hey, if you're wanting to sell, come on to Zillow and get your instant offer. We have 15 institutional investors. They'll make you an offer on your home. And by the way, if you don't take that, you'll get a CMA from one of our agents, et cetera.
Got it.
So I thought, you got to be kidding. Already, I didn't like the fact. Now, again, I'm doing nothing in the Zillow arena. I'm building my real estate firm. Zillow, it's an irritation to me, but it's really a non-entity, just an irritation. I didn't like the fact that Zillow posted their own valuations next to our sellers' asking prices.
Sure.
I mean, think about it. And I thought about that. I thought, this is crazy. If I did it, let's say I list your home, Jeff, and I run an ad on it, and you listed it $495,000, and I run an ad on that. Now, you've listed with me. I'm your trusted agent, and next to your asking price, I put on there, by the way, my valuation is $460,000. I think my seller's like overpriced. The Department of Real Estate would drive out and take my license off the wall and say, Greg, you're too stupid. You don't deserve a hearing. And yet with Zillow, when we upload homes, we know that well could happen.
Yeah.
Didn't like that. Didn't like the fact that Zillow posts agents next to listings that aren't the listing agent. Many times those agents have never seen the home. So sometimes buyers get in touch with those agents. If I'm a buyer and I'm not in real estate, I'm going to think that an agent that's displayed next to a listing probably knows about it.
Right.
But they often don't, and that hurts home sellers. I didn't say anything about it. Irritations, we've all lived with it. But when Zillow came out with instant offers, I said, this is really wrong. This is a stab in the back to our industry because now they're going after our sellers. Zillow used our listings to take our buyers. And when I say our buyers, I simply mean we don't own the buyers, but buyers who used to come to us directly.
Right.
Before Zillow got in between, these are buyers when I put up a for sale sign, when I ran an ad, they called me directly. I didn't have to, they didn't filter through Zillow.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay for leads on Zillow. I simply had buyers come. And that's what I mean by our buyers.
Right.
So Zillow, we gave Zillow our listings thinking that they would give us a platform that helped sell the listings. In my opinion, what they built was a platform that used our listings to generate buyers to sell back to us, and they wedged themselves between us and buyers who used to come to us in order to monetize those buyers, and that's my opinion.
Right.
So when they came out with instant offers, I said, you got to be kidding. They used our listings to get our buyers. Now they're going after our sellers, going direct to our sellers, trying to connect them directly with institutional investors, most of whom sellers won't sell to those investors because how many sellers are going to sell wholesale?
Correct.
But what Zillow was doing what they are doing is trying to capture sellers' names and information before they call us direct so they can sell us those sellers too. So they're trying to now wedge themselves between us and our sellers. And I just got mad one morning. So here's the fun story.
Okay.
May 22nd, May 23rd, whenever it is, I read about it on Inman.
Okay.
I get ticked off, and I'm just like having breakfast. So I go
mug across.
Yeah, right. I'm just on my computer. So I go into GoDaddy. I have a GoDaddy account like most of us, and I have a bunch of URLs I keep renewing every year and never do anything with like everybody else.
Someday,
It's always the someday. Another $8.47 someday.
Right, yeah.
And so I go in and I just go in and see if first thing I think of is Stop Zillow. I mean, it comes up. Zillow had not reserved it. They hadn't protected themselves.
Wow.
$8.47 or whatever. So that's a good one. So I go in and I reserve Stop Zillow and I write this little petition out that basically says to the NAR. I mean, I just do a landing page in like a few hours to the NAR, National Association of Realtors, that says, guys, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm ticked, and I'll bet a lot of realtors are. You're our trade organization. You need to get in Zillow's face and tell them instant offers is out of line. And there are a lot of ticked off realtors out here that if Zillow doesn't back off on instant offers, I suspect, and you as our trade organization suspect, that a lot of us are going to be ticked off and we may start pulling out of Zillow.
Yeah.
That, if you can believe, I put this up. I do one little webinar on it. I don't have a lot of people on the webinar. I mean, 150, 200 people. We're not talking thousands. Just a training webinar.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, I have 41,000 signatures on this petition. NAR comes out with a policy statement basically on that, seeing the movement, and Stop Zillow movement now it becomes, basically saying, I'm sorry, we can't take a position on this. We can't be responsible for orchestrating a boycott against Zillow. Now, that's ridiculous. I never suggested that NAR orchestrate a boycott against Zillow.
Okay.
I simply suggested that NAR get in Zillow's face on behalf of us. We pay NAR $200 million a year, and that get in their face and say, you're out of line. You know, we gave you our listings. Don't try to take our listings away.
Yeah.
Bottom line is NAR came out with policy statements, so I won't go on. We can talk about it. I decided to do something about it.
Right.
And to do something about it is to try to galvanize support across the industry from agents from coast to coast to build our own website, a website that we as realtors own, not NAR. Remember, NAR sold Realtor.com. To come together and build our own website that's realtor-owned, realtor-managed, where realtors own it, realtors own the shares of stock, realtors vote for the board of directors, the board of directors that is voted in by realtors hires the people who run it, so that instead of being dependent on third-party websites like Zillow, which is what we are now, that we have our own website that's realtor-owned, realtor-managed. And I'll just kind of sum it up and then glad to answer any questions with this. It just makes no sense. An industry whose primary purpose is to sell homes, we don't have our own website to market those homes. Now, Jeff, you got to admit, that is a little like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, most consumers think that we are somehow owners or affiliated in ways with Zillow or Realtor.com. But that's not true. We used to be with Realtor.com, but NAR sold it off to Rupert Murdoch and News Corp. We have no ownership of that at all. So the bottom line is I just am trying to galvanize support. I have a crowdfunding website up under Plan to Save Real Estate, and we are building a website that we're going to launch February 19th. And that website, the first goal of that is to plant the seed, be the initial website that would grow into the new official website of the real estate profession, and we're going to turn it over.
So do you think the National Association felt more like the local MLSs were enough, and they just weren't thinking about the fact that, well, people don't really go there to search. The agents can set up the searches, but I mean, do you think that's part of why they just haven't focused on an actual website?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't presume. I think there are a lot of good people at NAR. I'm disappointed in some things with NAR. I'm disappointed that they sold Realtor.com, disappointed that they haven't taken a more aggressive stance, in my view, in supporting and protecting our industry.
Yeah.
But I'm not up there. And I really hate to throw people under the bus that I don't know, and I don't know what their issues and problems are and what their legal challenges are. But I will say this. I believe to the bottom of my soul that if we continue to allow third-party websites like Zillow is just the most formidable example because they have the biggest brand.
Yeah.
If we keep depending upon them, that they will eventually own us.
Yeah.
And there's the bottom line. And that we need to develop our own website. So interesting thing is what I did is we spent months, and there are a lot of really top, and this isn't just me, then I put together a group of really smart, long-term realtors, some salespeople, some broker owners, everybody with kind of a different view. And our first strategy wasn't just to build a better Zillow. And this is the interesting part. We decided that isn't the way to do this. To take on a $9 billion corporation head on doesn't make sense.
Yeah, right.
Our strategy was, what could we do? What kind of technology could we come up with that would make buyers say, oh my gosh, that is so much better. Gives us such, by going over here instead of to Zillow, we have a home search advantage that is unparalleled. That's what we thought through as a business model. We came up with an idea. We thought, if we could do this, every buyer in the country would be all over this. So we spent a lot of money with tech people to see if they could. They finally came back and said, it's never been done before, but we can. It's very costly. So we commissioned it. We decided that whatever we could raise in the crowdfunding would be great, but we would fund the difference ourselves. I'm personally writing a check for any difference. We're doing this regardless.
Yeah.
And Jeff, truthfully, we have come up with a technology that we're going to give to agents, those who contribute $25 in the crowdfund, nothing, $25 or more crowdfunding contribution. On February 19th, every agent who contributed is going to get to use this, and they're going to see how effective it is at pulling buyers off of Zillow and gluing those buyers to them. That's the way to get it started. It's silly, it's braggadocio to say, I'm launching a website that's going to be the new official website of the real estate. I mean, really?
Yeah.
But if realtors see that the technology we develop sucks buyers away from Zillow and glues them to them, then it will grow, then it will proliferate. And if all they have to do to use it is contribute $25 to help cover some of the costs we incurred,
right,
I think it will spread very quickly by word of mouth, organically, if what I say is true, and you'll see it is, if it just takes buyers away and realtors say, oh my gosh, I now have buyers coming to me like I never had before, and I don't have to depend on Zillow.
Yeah.
So that's how we're getting it started. And all of the people who contribute to the crowdfunding are the ones who are going to be our tests. They're going to be the ones who carry the flag forward and say to the real estate profession, or don't, if I'm wrong, it either, oh my gosh, everybody should be doing this, or Greg was out of his mind, he thought it would work. We thought hopefully they'd say he had a good heart and good intentions, but it didn't. But that isn't going to be the case because it's going to work.
And that's February.
That is February. We actually have a website launch party at my home right here in Scottsdale in Silverleaf, where we're launching it. And amazing band, amazing entertainment, doing some incredible things. And that's the 17th. That's a Saturday. We're going to do a national broadcast where we're going to put a feed out, and agents across the country will see the website. They'll know the secret sauce, the technology that we're doing.
Yeah.
They're going to get to use all of the videos, the commercials, everything. We're just going to give it to them, all the contributors. Then on the 19th, on Monday, is the official launch when we put it into motion.
Wow.
Yeah,
Exciting.
We have to book that on our calendar like right now.
Yeah.
February
I guess so, right?
17th.
Yes, the 17th.
And
So
we have to contribute,
Yes.
Jeff. We got to put that in there.
All right. There we go.
And I'll tell you, you guys might want to do that and come up and live feed this, do this thing from my home up in Silverleaf where we're having this.
We may
that
do
would be
that.
kind of a fun evening. I think you might get a
That
pretty
would
big
be fun,
audience.
right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So this whole thing that we've just been talking about, then, is this the plan to save real
It is.
estate?
It is
that what
Plan to Save Real Estate. You can check it out at either stopzillow.com or plantosaverealestate.com. The Stop Zillow website prior to it just shoots there. The Stop Zillow website prior to this was all the reasons why Zillow is harming the industry.
Okay.
I put that aside and pointed everything over to something more positive. I just decided, I can complain. We all can complain till we're blue in the face, and that gets us nowhere.
Yeah.
right.
So everything now is purely positive. It ain't about Zillow. It's about doing something that's better for our industry. And what happens with Zillow happens with Zillow.
Yeah.
But it's about us and about, quite frankly, serving our sellers better. I mean, think about it. A website that doesn't post agents who don't know about a home next door, a website that doesn't post inaccurate valuations,
Yeah.
a website that does the things that seller would want it to do. That's what this is going to be, plus kind of a secret sauce that buyers are going to love.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the the estimate, right, that they put out, or Zestimate, or whatever they call it, right?
Yes.
And your example of, let's say you listed a home for me at $495 or whatever.
Right.
But I would call you and say, but Zillow says it's worth
That's right.
$520.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. And so
that's crazy.
what kind of heartburn that creates with agents and their sellers who have looked on
Yeah.
Zillow. So yeah, that works that way as well. And then I list your home, we get it up there, and then Zillow values it perhaps less than your asking price. I mean, how does that affect? I mean, you realize how horrible that is when buyers see your asking price and then a valuation 30 grand less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's
totally.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sending anything new.
Yeah, no, I think there's a broker in Austin, I believe, too, that's they don't put any houses on Zillow for that very reason.
And in New York, they're
Yeah.
trying to do their whole separate MLS and not do any there. Yeah, there are movements all over, but I really believe that the answer is not to first. Here's the two fields of thought. Field of thought one, and I get, literally hundreds of emails a week. Greg, why don't we just all pull off Zillow? Let's just pull our listings off.
Yeah.
The problem is, the first thing we need to think about is our sellers. And since Zillow has so many buyers, is it really fair to a seller not to put their home on Zillow? And in many cases, it might be okay because maybe Zillow wouldn't have their. But
Yeah.
I think the first step isn't to just say, hey, let's all pull off a Zillow. I think the first step is to have our own website that takes buyers away from Zillow because it's better. Then when we have the buyers, each listing agent can make a choice with their seller, do I want to be on Zillow or not? I think that's just a better path in the best interest of our clients.
You are passionate.
He is passionate. It's awesome.
Passion, Jeff, is not something that anybody's ever criticized me for not having.
Yeah.
I
So
can tell. That's awesome.
you're probably not allowed to tell us yet, but the name. Do we have a cool name for this new website?
We have a name that is now trademarked. It is super cool.
Nice.
It is it is short, it is 2 syllables. It is so much better than Zillow. What's a Zillow? Like a reptile?
I don't know.
It is a really good.
It's this little small Godzilla.
Yeah, and also the technologies we developed. That again, all of you who are listening, I'm going to put my little pitch in. Go to plantosaverealestate.com or stopzillow.com. You'll see. By the way, you can upgrade. You can contribute more than $25. There's some great training perks. People from around the country have tossed in all kinds of perks. But go there, take a look. At least contribute the $25 and get this in your hands on February 19th, particularly if you're someone who is interested in, if you like working with buyers or you have listings and want to attract buyers to those listings. This thing is what we're doing, and this is right on video, right to everybody here, has never been done before in real estate. When you put this out in your market and buyers hear what you've got that no one else does. Right here on video, I tell you, they will flood to you, and you can record this and come back to me, and you will see it's true.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, how do people get involved? So you just shared it. That's
PlanToSaveRealEstate.com.
That was the next. That was the next thing on my agenda, is to find out exactly what they need. So Plan to Save Real Estate.
And I'm expecting security title up at the website launch party.
There we go. There we go.
But that ain't no $25. That's $500.
Uh-oh.
Think you guys can handle that, right?
Yeah, we'll have to talk to them, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Have to let them know. Anyway, no, this has been great information, and you're all like fired up. I think you're like ready to get in the ring. You want to get in the ring?
I totally want to get in the ring.
All right, let's do this. All right, here we go. So, what's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Best advice was the definition of happiness. When I started being successful in real estate, I started buying a lot of stuff because it had never had stuff, and it was kind of my dream to have a big house and motorcycles, and I had a plane and a bunch of stuff. And it was interesting. I was having coffee with a friend, this maybe 15, 20 years ago, when I was starting to make serious money, probably even before that, I guess it was. And I told my friend, his name is Bruce, great guy, one of the smartest guys in the world, not in real estate.
All right.
And I said, Bruce, he'd known me, 30 years. I said, Bruce, it's really weird. I have everything that I've always wanted, and I just don't feel like as excited as I used to feel. I mean, it's just like, I'm not unhappy. It's just that it's really weird. And he says, Greg, I know what your problem is. And I said, what? He says, you don't know the definition of happiness. And I said, what do you mean? He says, Greg, happiness is the deep sense of satisfaction that comes from the enthusiastic pursuit of a worthwhile goal of your own choosing. He said, you see, you're all caught up in pleasure, where happiness comes from purpose. You've lost your purpose. You have all this stuff. So you're spending your days out looking for new stuff. What's the latest gadget? What's the latest gadget? What's the last doodad? What's the coolest new car? He says, you've lost your purpose. Where when you were going for it, you didn't have money, you didn't have success. You were going for it and happy every day. That bit of advice changed my life. And that was 25, 30 years ago. You say I'm passionate? I don't have to be doing this. I've worked long, worked hard, financially free. I love my days. I mean, nobody wants to have their days end. I particularly don't, just because I'm so fired up about what I'm doing. So best advice I ever got was to understand that happiness, at least to me, and I think a lot of people, isn't about pleasure. It's about purpose. Pleasures are the icing. Purpose is the cake.
That's great.
That's good stuff.
I'm going to have to rewind that one back, play it over again so I can remember all of it. That's awesome. How about a favorite mobile app?
Favorite mobile app is Voxer, Voxer. You guys familiar with that?
I am. Yeah.
Phone, walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
I mean, my teams, groups. I don't even see how you would, what a great way to communicate with clients, with sellers. I have Voxer groups, broadcast groups, so I think any of you that aren't using Voxer, you need to be using Voxer.
All right. How about a book recommendation?
Well, there's so many books that I absolutely love, so I'm going to put a personal plug in as a gift for your listeners. I wrote a book, which is nothing to do with real estate, totally fun. I'm a big believer in fathering. So many years ago, I wrote a book called How Fathers Change Lives. And what it is, it's not me preaching to anybody about fathering. I do my best, and I'm really proud of my sons. But what I did is I took a year off because of my success in real estate. I was able to do it. And with my son and my wife, Roseanne, who are both amazing people, we interviewed, every day we interviewed a daughter or son around the country and asked them 2 questions. Number 1, what's your favorite story and the favorite lesson you learned from your dad? We put a blog out called Savvy Dad, and then at the end of the year, we turned it into a book, the best 52 stories shared by daughters. And now, remember, some of these daughters and sons, one was even 82 years old. His dad had long passed away, but it is like what I call potty reading, like 3 pages each, lots of photos, and it is best stories, best lessons. And I don't want to say it's the best book I've ever read. I mean, there's some amazing books in business and other things. If I were going to say the best business book would probably be Good to Great. I love Good to Great. But in terms of a fun book, anybody's interested in a copy of How Fathers Change Lives, it'd be my pleasure to give it to them.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow, appreciate that. I'm a father, so
There you go. Well,
All right.
You'll be getting a copy.
Okay, I'll definitely read it.
Right.
How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
The thing there are a lot of them that I use every day. Evernote I couldn't live without.
Yep.
But the one that many of your viewers might not be aware of is Boomerang. You heard of Boomerang? So Boomerang works with Gmail.
Okay.
And
yes,
it allows you to take emails that you don't want to deal with now and boomerang them out. They just like disappear, but schedule when they come back into your box. Oh. And I use that all the time. So I couldn't live without Evernote. But in terms of a fun, computer thing, Boomerang for Gmail is amazing.
Oh, you should know about that one, Joey. Joey's a big
I
Google
actually
guy,
use
so.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I use that because I don't like to send my emails late at night.
Yeah.
So
it'll allow you to schedule to send.
Right.
Exactly.
That's right.
You betcha.
All right. All right. Well, last question. We'll let you draw out of the mask here.
Okay.
This is beautiful. What is that?
There we
Velvet?
go. Okay.
All right. Go ahead and read that, and we'll see what we got.
Okay. Well, let's see. Who is your favorite superhero and why? Right?
Oh, there we go.
So this is really going to date me. This is like totally going to date me. So I was a total comic book addict when I was growing up.
Okay.
And everybody would think, well, there was, of course, the Superman and the Batman and all this stuff, but the Flash. I mean,
oh yeah,
are you kidding me?
Good
Totally.
stuff.
And why? I don't know. I mean, just so edgy, so cool.
Well, you kind of like him. You talk really fast like him.
Maybe that's it, but that was just my total favorite superhero comic book hero. Yeah, the
that's
Flash.
awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. This has been great.
Yes.
Total pleasure. Thank you,
We'll
Jeff.
get this
Thank you,
out,
Joey. You
and,
guys are amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think agents need to hear this.
Well, I do too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Joey, anything else?
No,
good?
this is just some good stuff. Really
Yeah.
good stuff.
That was I'm almost tired.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like
In a good
pumped
way.
up, like just like I did a workout.
Don't be getting tired because I got a lot of stuff for you guys to be doing between now and then. Everywhere I go, I'm recruiting people
There we
behind
go.
the movement, right?
There we go.
you
Well,
go.
I feel like I did a workout. I can skip the gym tonight. So
There you go.
Anyway, well, thank you so much for being in. It's awesome.
My pleasure.
And until next time, this is Jeff Underwood along with
Joey Sampaga
from Security Title Studios. Have a fantastic day. Adios. Take care. Good job. All right. Great job.
Good stuff.
That work out?
Man, yeah.
That was awesome.
Hands are cool for some reason.
The Weekly Closer podcast is sponsored by Jake Krabby, NMLS number 877141 at Academy Mortgage. Are you looking to buy or refinance a home? Jake Krabby is your mortgage professional. Contact Jake at 480-442-9291. Jake Krabby is a loan officer at Academy Mortgage, NMLS number 877141. State license for Arizona number 0920357, AZBK number 0904081, and New Mexico number 877141. Academy Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 3113, and New Mexico 01451. Call 480-442-9291. Address 15333 North Pima Road, Suite 205, Scottsdale, Arizona 85260. Academy Mortgage is an equal housing lender.